Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, the Transformers Marathon is continuing. Now, we've come up to the live-action Transformers films. That's right. And of course, we're starting with the 2007 Transformers film. Yes, so, yeah, I tell ya, because when the first ever live-action Transformers film came out, the first thing is, Michael Bay, we all know Michael Bay, of course, and we all know what he's like as a filmmaker with his explosions, all that kind of stuff. People were doubting that this film could work. And yeah, obviously, the people felt that this was going to be a disaster. They were sending death threats to Michael Bay. But when the film came out, it surprisingly did pretty well. So yeah, alright, so I'll read the description / the story. The fate of humanity is at stake when two races of robots, the good Autobots and the villainous Decepticons, bring their war to Earth. The robots have the ability to change into different mechanical objects as they seek the key to ultimate power. Only a human youth, Sam Witwicky, can save the world from total destruction. Yeah, so I had to do it in an epic voice, because, I should have done it in my Optimus Prime impression, but but anyways. Yeah, so the story to the movie is, and as I read, there was this cube that basically, is responsible for bringing and breathing life, and planets. And gosh, I had totally forgotten. The cube was humongous. And at one point, the cube made its way to Earth. And basically, with the main human character, Sam, played by Shia LaBeouf. And Shia LaBeouf, a year after doing this film, he would go on to be Indiana Jones's son in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, so, but anyways, and you know what, because Shia LaBeouf, he's a good actor, and you know what, he was pretty good in the Transformers films as Sam. And yeah, because the last name, Witwicky, because that was the name of the human characters, their last name in the animated movie and in the series. So yeah, if I remember correctly. So basically, his great-great-grandfather, who was an explorer, did encounter something that has to do with the robots. And Optimus Prime, explaining to Sam that, the Autobots, their home planet was, once a peaceful planet, no bad things happening, no war, but that's when, everything changes, and the planet was destroyed by the doing of the main villain, the Autobots' greatest enemy, Megatron, and the Decepticons. At one point, Megatron, he crash-landed on Earth, and that's when Sam's great-great-grandfather encountered Megatron being frozen, and at one point, he accidentally activated the navigation systems of Megatron, and at one point, his great-great-grandfather's glasses, they're a very important part in the film because the location of the cube was imprinted on the lens of the glasses. Ugh. So that's why, when the Decepticons and the Autobots, starting with Bumblebee, arrive at Earth, they are basically on the hunt to track down the glasses, and they find out the location of where the glasses are because of Sam. I think he at one point was going to sell them on eBay. Why would he do that? Like, that's an important, valuable thing in the family. Like, you get my point. Like, surely, anybody like you guys would have something like that, something valuable that's been in the family for years. So, like, I don't know what Sam was thinking. So yeah. So again, like, it's a race to find the glasses and to find the cube. Megatron wanting to get the cube, well, him and the Decepticons, that is, to use the cube's power, and Megatron wanting to destroy all mankind, stuff like that. Yeah. And the cast of characters, let's come to the cast of characters. As I said, Shia LaBeouf playing Sam, and this one girl that Sam, he has the hots for, Mikaela Banes, played by Megan Fox. And speaking of which, I feel as though that Transformers, this is what got Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox becoming big stars, and yeah, I'd say so. Look what they would do next. So yeah, we also have Josh Duhamel, who plays Captain Lennox, and Lennox, he would be a big part of the Transformers franchise, appearing in, like, in the rest of the Transformers films, and, of course, working alongside with the Autobots. There's also Agent Simmons, played by John Turturro. And yeah, Agent Simmons at the beginning of this film, he starts off being a dick. Just, pardon my French, but it's true. But, later on in the films, he lightens up, and, he becomes a better man, and, helping and working alongside with, the other human characters, Sam and the Autobots. So yeah, as I said, he becomes a better man later on in the franchise. There was also Jon Voight, Angelina Jolie's father. He plays Defense's Secretary, John. It's not showing the full name, because, again, I've got the tablet and I've got IMDb pulled up, so I hate when it does that. Just, and also Sam's parents, Ron and Judy, played by Kevin Dunn and Julie White. Yeah, they were pretty funny in this. Not to mention, because when Sam is going to get his first ever car, his dad Ron is driving him to get his first ever car, and Sam thinking that they're pulling up to this, like, big fancy car business, but they're going to that kind of car shop, like crappy junky cars, and that's where Sam would find Bumblebee. And by the way, like, the guy, like, running the shop, being played by the late Bernie Mac, yeah. And after this film, a year later, he would sadly pass away. So yeah, he was Bobby Bolivia, yeah. And I remember, like, there was also a clown. Sometimes you would see a clown, like, holding up signs, yeah. The clown being played by Johnny Sanchez, if I'm saying that right, yeah. I do remember that, and I remember Bobby, he kind of shouted at the clown or something like that, I don't know. But, Bumblebee is determined for Sam to, take him as, his car, etc. And even Bumblebee, like, damaging and destroying all the other cars that are on sale. It's funny, Again, Bumblebee is determined for Sam to choose him. So, yeah. Yeah, and even, say, moments between Sam and Mikaela, Sam trying to impress Mikaela, but, the stuff that he says, like, it's awkward, and, like, trying to show his, arms, like, his muscles, and, some love songs that play, in Bumblebee. Like, obviously it's Bumblebee's doing, and it just gets more awkward. And by the way, as I mentioned of Michael Bay, because, he does his explosions, but also, like, I don't know, what people say about Michael Bay, how he looks at girls, like, okay, well, like some shots with Megan Fox, like, how Michael Bay, like films women, stuff like that. And also, there was also two characters that, gosh, I had completely forgotten about. And I don't think they appear, like, in the rest of the Transformers franchise after this movie. I'm pretty sure. That's Glenn Whitman, played by Anthony Anderson, and Maggie Madsen, played by Rachel Taylor. Maggie Madsen, she used to work for NASA, but she at one point got fired because something to do with rewriting an article. And for Glenn, he is an expert on, like, being a hacker and hacking into systems and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, because Glenn is a friend of Sam's, and, Maggie, teaming up with Glenn, and both of them joining Sam and, the other human characters, helping out the Autobots. And by the way, because, obviously, because this is the first Transformers film, we have the military and we have the guys in the suits. They think the Autobots are a dangerous threat, that kind of stuff in movies. And by the way, because one of the other, like, military soldiers, the first sergeant, Donnelly, was played by Zach Ward, a.k.a. Scott Farkas from A Christmas Story. Yeah, that's him. I remember, like, when I first saw this film, like, I was 6 years old, and if I remember correctly, my parents pointed out to me, like, that's Scott Farkas. So, yeah, and it sucks because he at one point gets killed. Like, that's a bit of a shame because, the military, they're out in the desert, and, they come face to face with some of the Decepticons out in the desert. Like, there's a scorpion Decepticon, like, that's pretty cool. A bunch of other Decepticons, like, and if I remember correctly, the Decepticons, like, at one point, turn objects into one of them, which, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, a microwave becomes a Decepticon, a tank becomes a Decepticon, I think. Or was the tank already a Decepticon in disguise? I think. I can't remember. You can let me know on that. And by the way, the robots, the Autobots, and the Decepticons, now let's come to them, because, obviously, starting with Optimus Prime being voiced by the voice of Optimus Prime himself, Peter Cullen. And the Autobots that first appear in the first Transformers film, Jazz, being voiced by Darius McCrary, if I'm saying the last name right. I don't think so. Sorry, just, you know me and how I pronounce last names. There was also Ratchet. Ratchet is the medical Autobot, the Autobot doctor, basically, being voiced by Robert Foxworth, and Ironhide being voiced by Jess Harnell. Yeah, and Ironhide definitely, because he has a good sense of humor, like wanting to blow stuff up and, can't I shoot them? Like, I was only suggesting, stuff like that. And by the way, because Jess Harnell also voices one of the Decepticons, one of the first Decepticons we see, who is in disguise as a police car. And there was also that little tiny Decepticon that spoke just, gibberish words, was basically hacking, like, the systems and, knowing the location and all the basics of Sam and the glasses, yeah. And by the way, because, with the funny moments, like, they were pretty good because, the Autobots, they arrive at Sam's house, and Sam is trying to look for the glasses. And, Sam has a Chihuahua, and at one point the Chihuahua pees on Ironhide, and Ironhide wants to basically kill the dog because, for peeing on him. And even say, I think, Optimus Prime accidentally crushed a fountain, and, them, like, shaking the place, and, Sam's parents thinking that there's an earthquake, but it's them and a transformer. An actual transformer blows up and the power goes out, And, you know, the Autobots trying to hide plain sight from Sam's parents. And the same goes for Michaela at first. She hides in Sam's room. And it's pretty funny because, you know, with Sam telling his parents that, you know, he needs privacy, and literally because out of nowhere, his mom asks if he was masturbating. Like, jeez, like, even the dad is like, honey, what the heck? Like, that is unnecessary. And of course, Michaela reveals herself to his parents, you know, and is a friend of Sam's, you know, as she tells them. And that's when a little bit later, because, yeah, the guys in the suits, they come in, you know, Agent Simmons, of course, and actually one of the other guys in the suits, like, that's basically who they are. Guys in suits. They're the assholes. Pardon my French again. One of them was, yeah, Brian Stepnick, if I'm saying the last name right, best known for his role in, you know, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. You know, the guy with the glasses. Oh gosh, what was his character's name again? I swear, I have to. And he's also appeared in Young Sheldon. Yeah. So yeah, I don't. That's not showing up. But anyways, continuing. And it's pretty funny because, you know, Sam and Michaela, they're under arrest, and, you know, as, you know, they're driving, you know, the guys in the suits, you know, the Autobots, they, of course, stop them, and it's pretty funny, because even, say, like, them, like, you know, basically hilariously torturing Simmons, having him take his, like, jacket off and being tied up to a pole. But at one point, Brian Stepnick's character, Sector 7 Agent, yeah, that's literally his name, Sector 7 Agent, basically had already informed the rest of the military, basically. And they capture Bumblebee, the Autobots and Optimus Prime, they get away, and, you know, even Optimus Prime, you know, he wants to save Bumblebee, but he doesn't want to harm the humans. And that shows, because, you know, what a great Autobot Optimus is, and as well as the other Autobots. They mean no harm to the humans, even though they don't know that yet. But I think, yeah, later on, things escalate quickly for the military, and, you know, they soon help and team up with the Autobots, because they learn more about Megatron, and the fact that Megatron was kept locked up since 1935, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And the cube is there, and apparently the dam, it was built around the cube, basically. You know, sometimes in movies, like, them, like, rewriting history, well, it is fiction, and it's a movie, so, you know, and boy, what happens in Transformers 3 is interesting until I get to that. And so at one point, the military, you know, lets go of Bumblebee, and thus the military and the Autobots, they join forces to take on Megatron and the Decepticons. And I gotta say, the action and fighting, the battle between the military, Autobots, you know, against the Decepticons, pretty awesome. I'm telling you, the visual effects in this film, and even to this day, still look fantastic. Like, the people at ILM, short for Industrial Lights and Magic, they did a heck of a good job with the visual effects, you know, making the Autobots and Decepticons, all the robots, looking so realistic, and the detail, you know, just like all the gears moving and when they transform, fantastic. Again, as I said, to this day, it still looks amazing. And to think that this came out in 2007, that's unbelievable. Again, Industrial Lights and Magic, they get the job done. Yeah, so all the action and fighting going on, pretty cool, and there are some funny moments here and there, like at one point, Optimus Prime taking on a Decepticon, you know, at Bridges, and one kid and his mom, they see this, and they were this close to being killed, but of course they survived, and literally, because, you know, the kid says, "Cool, Mom." Like, kid, do you not realize that you were this close to dying? And of course, the battle takes place in the city, and yeah, still fantastic. And I don't know, there was one infamous scene with Ironhide where he does a flip and, like, the camera pans to this girl, like, she screams. Like, what was the point of that? I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand what it was supposed to do, but still, And I remember, like, watching that clip on YouTube and looking at, comments, like, talking about that and saying, like, okay, we want you to scream, like, action. You get my point. And basically, yeah, I forget, because the cube, like, I think the cube at one point grows smaller, and it's up to Sam to, use the cube and to basically, at one point, Optimus Prime, he needs to have it inside of him because it will help him, become more powerful and to defeat Megatron. But Sam has an idea, like, he basically uses the cube on Megatron, and that basically gives Megatron too much power and energy, and that basically defeats him. Like, yeah, like, it doesn't kill him, because we all know that Megatron comes back in the franchise, sometimes being the antagonist and sometimes just being there, So Megatron is defeated, the battle is over, the Autobots and the military, they won the battle, and, yeah, and another thing is, and I forgot to talk about this, Bumblebee, he can't speak because, his voice box being damaged, and even the one Autobot, who's the doctor, Ratchet, he's still been trying to repair Bumblebee's voice, doing the best he can, but at one point, after the battle is over, Bumblebee is able to speak for a brief moment, permission to speak, and Optimus saying, "Permission granted, old friend." And Bumblebee saying, I would like to stay with the boy. Yeah, because Bumblebee knows that, that he rightfully, belongs with Sam because Sam is family to him. Yeah, so, and Bumblebee is Sam's car. And by the way, because speaking of which, Michaela, at one point, before Sam went off to, help out and, he was carrying the cube, Michaela, she sweetly said to Sam that, she's glad that she got in the car with him. Because, yeah, at the beginning of the film, Sam trying to impress Michaela, and with, Bumblebee. Even say when, like, another pretty good funny moment in the film is, after Bumblebee defeats the one Decepticon disguised as a, police car, and Bumblebee, talking about himself and introducing him to Sam and Michaela. Bumblebee is doing the driving while Sam and Michaela, they're the passengers, and Michaela, like, it's like she says something offensive to Bumblebee, being a crappy car. Bumblebee throws them out at one point, and, he tips over, and, he scans, like, one yellow car, a pretty cool, Bumblebee, I guess you can say, and he upgrades to that. So, yeah, I guess, it's his way of saying, am I a crappy car now? Like, see what you think? Stuff like that. But, yeah, all ends well. The epilogue, the military disposes Megatron's body, literally, just dropping him out in the ocean. And, also, Captain Lennox, he reunites with his girlfriend. I think the movie establishes that, that she is his girlfriend or fiance. I can't remember. You can let me know on that. He finally got to meet his baby child, baby girl, baby boy. I think baby girl, yeah. He finally got to, meet his baby girl for the first time. And yep, Sam and Michaela, they become a couple. And That's kind of weird because, them making out on top of Bumblebee, like, is Bumblebee okay with that? Like, okay. And Optimus Prime, who got the first lines of the film and got the last lines of the film, he gives this pretty good speech, and him saying, "I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots." Yeah, and one last shot of him, staring off into the sunset. Yeah, great way to end the film. And by the way, I almost forgot to mention Sam's parents, because the last time we see them, well, when they got arrested, and that was it. But we see that they're okay. During the credits, they're being interviewed. I think they're talking about what Sam did. He saved the day, stuff like that. It's pretty funny. The 2007 Transformers film, still, I think to this day is still pretty good, and for it being the first installment of the Transformers franchise, and what would come next in the franchise, as we all know. And definitely, I'm giving the first Transformers film from 2007 10 out of 10 stars. And what about you guys? What did you think of the 2007 Transformers film itself? And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the 2007 Transformers film. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, the Transformers Marathon is still continuing. Up next, the second Transformers film. Stay tuned for that later tonight. Take care, peace out, and Autobots, roll out!